So, hello everyone, my name is Sandeep and welcome to my channel Techie-S. So, this is the new video. Now, we are going to discuss today on data centers, dehumidifiers. So basically this channel is all regarding the data center operations, what is going into the data centers. So this is one of the also critical and most important equipment in the data center. It's called dehumidifiers. So what actually dehumidifiers works actually, it reduces the humidity, the humidity which comes in the data center actually. So that is also dangerous for the data center equipment, because we have to maintain a temperature inside the data center so that cooling can be as much that there should not be any static electricity, like recharge or discharge. Or and if we'll reduce the cooling, then what happens there, the humidity starts coming on the electrical equipment, which can cause the burn of the electrical equipment like servers motherboard or servers other equipment like network card or the other your network infrastructure. So these generally create that type of the problem. So we have to place the data center this dehumidifiers inside of the data centers and inside the data center. So basically what this dehumidifier works actually, this controls the humidity in the data center so that cooling can be as much as it is required. And the data center components, all the electrical infrastructure like it's a server, motherboard, storage, network, or electric panel, whatever electrical panel, whatever is inside the data center, that can be the easy, and they can operate easily without any problem or without any issue. So this is basically the data center dehumidifiers. So how this dehumidifier works actually, so we will understand in this video how these dehumidifiers work actually, and how this helps in the data center to maintain the required humidity, how much is required. So this is this video is all about that this. So I just opening this one of the image for your information. So this is one of the image for the dehumidifier. So what happens, this this dehumidifiers we can keep inside of the data center. Okay, it just keeps on whatever the cooling is coming, whatever the air which is passing in the data center, it just keeps on that air measure and reduce the humidity in that air, because whatever air is coming from the outside, it has some humid factors. So that humid factors can cause actually they can create a moisturizer on the electrical components. So electrical components are running, if there will be moisturizer on those components, then what will happen, those will burn or those will got faulty, or those can be out of the services. So this humid air basically helps to for that. Okay, so there are some of the this big humidifiers actually. If you are talking about the Google data center, AWS data center, Amazon data center, so those has very big dehumidifiers who are working in the data center, and those are placed upper top of the roof actually, like this. This is one of the example, like this Briar is one of the dehumidifier. This is one of the biggest company who is creating this type of the equipment for the data center. So you can say this type of the equipment who are placed on the top of the roof, and then after all this connectivity is done, so done inside the data centers. So what happens actually generally, so we will understand this, how this work actually. Okay, so there is a dehumidifier. So inside the data center there are two things. Number one is cooling. Number two is humidity. These are the two things in the data center. So we have to maintain the humidity and cooling in the equal, in the you can say equal measurement actually. If you will cool down infrastructure more, okay, for example, you are running the PAC in the data center into 16 Celsius degree temperature, okay, if less than, then what will happen actually, then all the equipment will cool down so much that if you will go inside of the data center and you will touch to the servers and data center, you will get some electronic short in that. Okay, so what happens basically, they start discharging the electricity, static electricity inside of that, because those are the so cool actually you cannot even touch. Then there is one static electricity band you will have to wear into your this wrist actually, and that will be attached into some of the racks, like this one, the earthing point, so that can be discharged. So it can also cause health issue to you or of the any data center of the engineer. So we have to maintain those things inside of the data center. If you will not maintain this cooling, and this cooling is where 25 plus 25 degree plus, then what will happen, there will humidity will start creating on the electrical equipments. So what will happen, there will start moisturizing, this moisturizing will start coming on the electrical equipments, on the motherboard, its internal network cards, or other parts. So what will happen, those will create actually a problem. Your server can be out of service, or they can be faulty, they can burn because of this issue. So we have to maintain this all things in the data center. So basically this is the work of the humidifier. Actually this humidifier, what they do, they create this type of the what you say environment, so that actually the servers can run in a high performance and without any issue. So lot of things are there. So if generally we talk about the dehumidifier, so what is generally they works, dehumidifiers are used in the data center to control the humidity and prevent the damage to equipment. It prevents the condensation caused by the high humidity and static electricity caused by the low humidity, so helping the data center to operate smoothly. If there will be a low low cooling, then it can create a this much electricity. So we have to maintain this both things in the data center, so that the data center can run in a smooth with the smooth operations. So if there will be any excessive humidity, so what will happen, if there will be any excessive humidity, so if there will be excessive humidity, so what will happen, if the excessive humidity can cause the condensation on the servers and other electrical equipment, causing the short circuit and damage. So our dehumidifiers prevents them problem by controlling the humidity. So this is the benefit of the dehumidifiers. If there will be excessive humidity in the in the data center, so what will happen, this is your server actually. Okay, this is your server. So it has an electrical component like the motherboard or its internal part like network card, the components of the server, power supply, and power supply, and this much fan. So what will happen there, the moisturizer will start coming on this electrical equipment. So what will happen, these will create a short circuit and they can damage. So that's why we have to maintain the all the humidity in the server room. So what happens actually, if there will be a low humidity, then this can cause the static electricity, which can damage the equipment in the data center. Dehumidifiers are reduced to this type of the problem by controlling the humidity. So generally this we do. So we have to maintain humidity and cooling in the equal measurement, so that our data center can run perfectly. Okay, so now we will understand actually how this dehumidifier work actually. So if I will go to one of these screenshot, there is So this is actually one of the dehumidifier. So how it works actually, so you can see this is actually one of the, you can say, the graph, or the process how it works. So you can see here, this is a humid air, okay, where I am touching humid air. 20% is your this was your temperature, and you maintain 20 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius. This is 20 degrees Celsius, this is 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, 80% condensed to waste. So you can say humid air. Humid air means that the raw air which is coming from the outer environment, which has like this moisturizer, or this evaporates type of the we can say drop in the air. Okay, so you can say this is evaporate through one of the, there is actually this component, this is the expansion. So this is the expansion component which is working in the dehumidifier. So whatever the air coming from the outside, so they evaporate to this and condense. After condense, there is one compressor, you can see this compressor. Okay, this compressor actually that compress the those air, and then after there is only dry and warm air which is passed into the data center. So this is one of the process that run into the dehumidifier. Okay, so we have to maintain the temperature between 20 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Okay, and there will be the condensation of the air, and the waste actually it evaporate the air from here and from the condenser. Then it actually what it does, it just remove the humidity from the air and pass only the dry warm air inside the data center, which is required to maintain the proper operations of the data center, and cooling will work on work, and humidifier will work on work. So this is one of the process that being followed in the during the dehumidifiers process. So what are the actually general, we can say, what is the benefit of this actually dehumidifier? So number one, if you will place dehumidifiers, okay, so this basically one of the create the better performance. Okay, because your electrical component will be as much will be in the equal environment, means there will be not lot of moisturizer, there will be not of the cooling, and there will be not on the humidity. So it justly for the better performance, it increase the performance of the servers. Okay, so by optimizing this humidity levels, appliance work better and their efficiency improves. Okay, so their efficiency gets improved and they work into the proper environment, and there is no challenge in that. Okay, cost saving, this is also one of the the cost saving, it also involves the cost saving. Okay, cost saving in the sense by protecting the equipment and improving its performance, using a dehumidifier help in reducing the maintenance cost of the data center. So how much we will protect them, and this equipment over of the data center, like network, server, and storage, all those things. So it will reduce the cost, because if there will be humidity, then what will happen, the this component will keep on faulty. Actually they will create an issue, there will be a short circuit, so you will have to pay for that. Okay, so it generally it helps in the cost saving in that perspective. Number 3, safe environment. Okay, with this there is a safe environment with the humidity. Okay, with the dehumidifier, how this help, actually dehumidifier helps in maintain a safe and stable environment inside the data center, which also ensure the safety of the employees. So means whichever the employee who is going into the data center, if there will be low cooling, and then there will be a static electricity will discharge, so they will directly go and touch any of the server rack or any component, so they will get short means they will get a electrical short. Okay, so we have to maintain this like this. So whatever the employer, DC engineer, DC executive, or data center manager is going, so we also have to maintain their health, so that there should not be any type of situation to maintain this data center well, and they can easily work into the data center. So it helps in the safe environment also. Further, in the short form, what we can say, dehumidifier is like a vital device for the data center that contributes to equipment safety and performance and cost saving. So this is one of the this dehumidifier works actually in the data center. So this is one of the, you can say, it's one of the critical component of the data center. We cannot take it as a lightly. So whenever a data center is designed, okay, anywhere, it's a Google or some kind of on-prem data center, or it's a hyperscale data center, Google data center, some other data center. So generally what happens, actually these all things are planned during the capacity planning of the data center. What kind of the infrastructure will be there, what kind of the AC cooling capacity will be there. So these all things are planned, and this is the part of actually HVAC. HVAC is the this is the basically a part of the HVAC, you can see like a process. Okay, so here HVAC, what is the HVAC? HVAC includes your AC, this one, your dehumidifiers. Okay, so this thing actually. So HVAC is the basically this part of the HVAC. HVAC is what is it? That is heating, ventilation, and air cooling. Okay, so this is one of the part. HVAC is the acronym stand for the heating, ventilation, and air conditioner, which is this is the system basically which complete your data center system that can heat or cool your data center, as well as provide the improved indoor and air quality and humidity control. So this is the actually full form of the HVAC. Okay, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So this basically this comes all the your AC components are there actually, whichever the data center we plan for the the AC capacity planning, that also come on the HVAC, and this one the dehumidifier also come into the HVAC. Okay, so these are the basically the component which work. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, how this dehumidifier works. So dehumidifier actually one of the important part of the data center to maintain the humidity in the data center. Okay, to reduce the to reduce the problem of electrical component, so that they can work longer, and your data center cost can be optimized, and there will be long running. So you have to maintain your AC and cooling capacity plus as per the requirement of the data center, along with the dehumidifier. So this type of the process that runs in the data center. Again we are seeing, I want to show you, this is the one of the graph actually. This is the process that how it runs actually. Okay, so you can see whatever the air which is coming, it is 80% is being condensed, because it has the humid air, it has the evaporates in the air. So it is, when it is being condensed, so it only 40% has the humidity has been reduced, and there is a dry and warm air going into the data center. Okay, and temperature is nearby 28 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this type of the the process that is followed in the dehumidifier to process the air, so that your data center can be cool, well maintained, and without any issue it can long run. So you also have to maintain this thing, and you have to timely go for the services of those dehumidifiers. Okay, okay, service of those service of the dehumidifier components, because which are actually on the depend on the data center, which is on like it can be on a monthly basis. Okay, depend on quarterly basis. Okay, so it depends on the data center actually, to data center manager, and the according to the data center infrastructure. So you can maintain this service quality of this on the monthly basis, quarterly basis, so as it is required, so that we can take the service on time, so that our dehumidifier system, or we can say the HVAC system, okay, cooling, heating, ventilation, and air cooling system can work properly inside the data center, so that your all components can run easily, and there should be not any fault. Okay, so this is our today's video. Actually, there I want to give you just a brief about the this HVAC system, how it work actually. If you want to see this type of the HVAC system, you can visit any of the data center actually. Okay, data center you can visit. So on the top of the data center actually, top of the data center, you can see the roof of the data center. Okay, there you will see one of the big setup of this HVAC. Okay, heating, ventilation and AC cooling systems. So you can go anywhere actually in your friend circle. If anybody is working in the data center or data center operations, they can show you that how this works. You can go there, you can see data center and there actually this how cooling systems are working, how these dehumidifier is working, what kind of the gensets are there, what kind of the RME units are there, how these are working in a vice versa. Okay, so they knows better actually, because from the here I can tell you only this thing, but physically if you will visit some of the data center, then you will get to know how much infrastructure, how much big infrastructure it is, and this is running with lot of actually support, or this need a 24/7 monitoring, controlling to maintain all those things. So this was all my video about today, the how these dehumidifiers work. So thank you very much for seeing my video. I will come with one new video to make you understand about all other data center parts, like what kind of the data centers are there, what kind of the classes are there. Okay, the lot of the other things to learn. So thank you very much for your support. Okay, and I request you to please subscribe my channel. Okay, and please if you have any issue, you can ping me on the comment box for your better question clear and for better understanding. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much.